I'll make a good one. I do make a lot a day.
Right.
It's big, so there's the delay.
It is live, it's at the top.
Yeah.
Is sound on?
Should be. I think that's just delay.
You think that's mute, the volume on there, it's still mute.
That's the TV volume.
Oh, don't get to phone it, check out these.
I'll put control. Oh, look at that. I was looking at something else, but I can.
No,
Okay, right, ready to start. Cool. Okay, welcome everybody to July Operation Committee meeting. Account Manager Lenka will be parking the meeting now, because we don't have an operations officer currently. Do we have any members of the public that want to speak? Pete?
Yes, I've got spot 29 on most presents, about 2 years ago, when Dan was here. They informed me that they were going to chop the trees down, well, chopping back from the top, about 4 metres. Stop the shadow on my plot, plus 3 other plots along the line.
That holds, isn't it?
Pardon?
Yeah,
Whole present.
Is this the line along the tracks?
Yeah, where they've got kept at the top, and you know, further down, and then you can come over to where well, there's another one anyway, that's slightly covered with the shadows, and I don't get my sunlight when the leaves are on the trees until about 1:30 in the afternoon. Now they're growing further and further and further away, and for the last 2 years I've been asking when Amber worked here, and she informed that she was going to get some
Tree survey.
yes, some tree surgeons quotes. Yeah, and she said apparently she needed 4 quotes for the doctor about different jobs that they want to get for these quotes, and nothing's come about. And that's been ongoing for 2 years now.
There will be free survey across all of the allotments.
Pretty sure we have and what you need to do.
Yeah, basically, the trees are now, I mean, they grow metre every year. So you look at, it could be 5 metres now, or 6 metres coming off the top. Just to reduce all out now, shadow effect in the morning, or the afternoon.
Are they actually on the plot or are they on national round land?
No, they're on the top, on the site itself. It's the wooded area, site next to 29.
I was just gonna say, that he's talking about the line of trees that runs along the railway line. But as you're looking at the railway line through the allotment, on the right-hand side, if I'm not mistaken, the people on that end of the allotment also have problems with the trees along the right side. And I think they've been done before, haven't they? That section was cut quite a few years back, wasn't it?
Well, it's just a public forum session at the moment.
Yeah, no. But I've got something to add. So,
Right.
so what Pete didn't mention is the health and safety issue connected with it.
Yes, I apologise, yeah, basically, I went down there, walked me, allotment block on there. And I found there was a 5-6 metre branch that snapped off and landed on the bench where I used to sit. After I've been Walton, just to relax a bit, and I informed council, the staff, that, and I put the photograph through, yeah, it was all there. And it, I actually had to remove it, like, I left it for like a fortnight, and actually removed it myself to put it in the ditch, like in the wooded area, from where the shed is. That eventually got took away, it was there one day and eventually disappeared. But that is, if I was there, that came crashing down, it would have been on top of my head. And then we could see, you know, there's evidence of where it came from.
It's quite important we get survey on the allotment and the back block.
Yeah.
That goes on first, yeah, we'll agree that, thank you.
Are the trees actually on the allotment site?
Yes.
On the, right.
We've had the registry done many times here, so.
Yeah.
Right, we have anybody else? No. Okay, thank you. Let's go on to the meeting in full. Apologies for absence, I think we're all here on.
Time for adjustment.
Oh, yes, yes, ma'am, yes. Is it for recognised, okay. I propose that we accept.
A second.
All those in favour? Thank you. And for declaration of interest, I do know that Peter's got one.
Yeah, I've got a non-registrable interest in item 12, the review of the allotment tenancies agreements. Because as you can see, my husband has a plot. I have checked the 2-stage test. I will take part in a discussion, but when it comes to any votes, I'm going to be leaving.
Yeah, thank you. George?
I have to register my declaration to deny a lot over, so.
Great. Thank you, George. Anybody else?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, that's great. Okay, so we noted. Okay, so the minutes of the last meeting, I've taken all the time to peruse them. Is there any corrections or anything that needs to be changed? No, where it's actually correct. Anybody else got anything to add?
No.
I propose to accept the minutes.
Second,
All those in favour?
Doesn't matter.
We can prove them.
Yeah, that's it. If it wasn't there.
No, yes.
There you go. There we go. Thank you. On to item 4, scheme of delegated authority. I don't look for the reading.
No.
I don't think it was. Yeah, okay. 5, operations reports. Thank you.
There's several items on the operational report. Is there any questions regarding any of them? If you had time to go through them. Side screen, that's something they're looking into, the signage for Duchess Grove. They have been installed today, that's complete.
Excellent.
Allotment skips have been arranged for this Friday.
I've got a question, isn't it a bit late for a lot of the skips out? Most people was to clear the stuff out of the old allotments. So it seems
That is because obviously the first lot was fulfilled very quickly and some of the lot holders had no chance to dispose of their stuff.
no problem. George?
yeah, on the first issue,
Yeah.
allotment numbering,
Oh.
just like to raise something. Am I right in understanding that they're going to be remeasured again? The plots?
I think that will need to take, the council will need to take some action because it comes out that some of the.
All the plots are
plots
precise,
are-
they always were.
Yes, but
But some of-
the thing is when the posts go in
Yeah,
with the numbers on them, I suggest that coincides with a new set of measurements, a new set of maps. And each post should go in a specific corner of the allotment as a designated reference point to measure out the rest of that plot. So if you put it on the left-hand corner, that becomes the reference point to give you measurements for that plot. Because as it is now, and this was my fault, I hold my hands up, when I did it, I just picked the most convenient spot for the
Okay.
post. But I should have put it in the ground, in the corner, and then from there, I can know that the map says this plot is now 3 meters that way, 4 meters that way. from the post, then you've got a reference point going
I think
forward.
this will need to be item on the agenda where the committee discuss if we want to remeasure the plot and how we're
We
gonna
can go
mark
through all
them.
them, can't we? Yes.
Yeah.
Let's,
It's all right, I've just read something and it's fine, I've just,
yeah, well, like this time, yeah.
it's okay, it's fine. Thank you.
With reference to that, George, we know, when you did your survey before, you're on these lots of different sizes. Are you intending to make them the same size? With these new measurements, or leave them as they are?
That will need to be discussed at
Yeah,
the meeting when.
Only in the case of where some plots have actually. We called it plot creep, where somebody had a plot and their plots year after year seem to get 6 inches bigger and bigger and bigger. But there is still somewhere a set of measurements that says this plot should be that big.
yeah.
And if the maps are redone, somebody should go along and say, hang on a second, this is where your plot ends, that extra meter you've got there, that's not yours. And this needs to be addressed, and it also needs to be, like I say, designated, so people know where their plots are. And if they've got a reference point, you can say your plot is 3 meters by 4 meters. From then, all they need to do is go to their numbering post and say it's 3 meters this way, 4 meters that way. I know how big my plot is.
So we can bring this to the September, so then we can go through the criteria and decide what we want to do.
This was an ongoing issue, and it caused a lot of friction between some plot neighbors.
Yeah. So,
So future issues.
that's all right. So we can put that on September's,
Yeah.
we will do that. So, right, carry on with the reports.
Okay, so then,
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I did, it was something different what I was to speak about, but when we discussed the skips, we did say that we wasn't going to hire skips again. Could something be put in the detail on this report to say that, just in case it can get lost? Because we did say we
That's a
wasn't
point,
gonna do it.
actually, yeah.
sorry to say what on the report,
So on the report where you've got subject, then you've got detail.
yeah, oh, there's nothing, yeah, sorry.
It's nothing in there, but could we put in there that this is going to be the only year that we do it, because we did say that we wouldn't.
I think that was minuted, that it's the only year, and the report, it's actually, it will come off, the report.
Okay.
For the next meeting.
Right,
But it
okay,
has been minuted that it's the
It
last time,
yeah.
the time that is provided.
okay, thank you, that's fine.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, so going on.
Then we have.
Sorry,
Oh, sorry.
sorry, I've got 2 things that I want to raise, might cover them already.
Shall I go through them? And then.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, let's go through it.
Wait, I was also discussed at the last ops meeting where the committee agreed, what we're gonna do, how we're gonna spend the funds. Hein had know something what needs to be looked at. Christmas tree, I assigned this to the community engagement officer and they're looking into the options. What we can do with the Christmas tree, for this year. Lavender Gate Pavilion Canopy. I need to talk to Walton Community Facility because I ascended the site to get some other quotes for other stuff and I couldn't see any damage. So I need to more clarification on about the canopy. Parent Group Meeting Place Garden, that has been in process. I just need to confirm the date when they will come and do the garden. Also, for Parent Group Meeting Place, we sign up the contract with the preschool starting from September. Asset branding, so we obviously have the board already, we just need to find out the place on the buildings where we're gonna attach them.
Yeah.
I don't know if any one of you noticed, there's a little sign for the toilet and change.
I noticed that, very good, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One's damaged already, so it looks like it's got a nick in it, but that's just me being pedantic.
Which one? Do you
I
know which
don't
one
know.
it is?
One of the toilets doors has got like a, but that's just.
Is it door or is it the sign?
The sign,
Sign,
yeah.
okay, thank you,
We've just got to find places to put the signs.
Yeah.
I think the one at Ramswood, there's a big round sign, near where the,
I'll find out.
It's always, we put it beneath there, that one's got beneath one, the
Yeah.
about the other one's Heron's Brook and, Heron's Brook and Rutland Gates. Even this
Yeah.
one.
Britain Grove, I need to obtain some quotes for the garden there. There is, I think one quote has been obtained, but obviously we need more. That's something, we're working on.
That was the one that I wanted to query. Wasn't that the pair that we had done?
That was
The
Rutland Gate.
Oh, yes, Brick Grove, sorry.
Yeah.
And we got
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
in place.
That's where I'm, that's, sorry. That's, yeah.
Safety trackers for members of staff, it's something I'm looking and obtaining the quote at the moment and finding the most suitable for what we need it for. It was requested by a few members of staff.
Were you talking about like panic buttons?
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
So I we had one demo and I've got another one planned, so.
Is there-
So Jackie, do you
Oh,
want
it says, has that already been purchased? It says it's sort of considered and purchased. Or is it that you're considering options?
The
At this
options,
stage.
sorry,
That's okay, yeah,
shouldn't be there. No, it
so we
hasn't
haven't got
been
them.
purchased, no.
Yeah.
I'm just looking into it.
Yeah.
Because there's like different options and really a lot of options.
you said you have several.
No. We've covered the Hindhead Knoll, Christmas tree and the Britain Grove.
Yeah,
I was wondering with the Heron's Brook, I thought we agreed to quote for to do the grass, artificial grass, didn't we? Playing mats, that's
so you're
it.
talking about the Heron's Brook.
Heron's Brook is in place.
Yeah. That obviously we wanted to print out on the carpet so that
That is extra cost than one on top of what we agreed.
that should be included in the cost. That's how it was quoted.
Oh, right, so said there extra costs, for the workers and costs.
Which, that's something I'm arguing with them because the original quote was including the printout, but now they asking for extra money.
For what I agree with.
Yeah.
And they should do, do we know when they're going to be doing this?
It's,
June
they
summer?
have the printouts ready, it's just now the matter of trying to negotiate the price to the agreed price with them. And then find the date when they're gonna install it, it should be done through the summer holiday. Because there's nothing stopping them to go there. Because they have no hydrants, so it should be ready for September.
Okay, any questions on this part? Okay, the next one is part, is the
Walton Community Facility. The lease is at the moment sitting with me, I just need to find time to go through it and then present it to the council. Because we're comparing with the one which was done for Britain Grove. So that's where we, with the lease, Walton Gate, exterior windows. For this one, we have this as item on the agenda. So we can discuss this further. It's again, the Walton Gate canopy, but as I said previously, I need sort of Caroline to find out where is the downside, I couldn't see any. Intruder alarm,
we were waiting for them to come back to us, see whether their insurers, it was also their insurers, wasn't it?
we checked with,
I don't actually see the one that sounds fabulous.
I don't personally, but if they need to have it done for their insurance, then they'll have to pay to have it changed, they're not the council, yeah, so it's at their cost, isn't it?
So can you explain that again, sorry?
The wireless, the alarm system is wireless connections to it, but
Right.
their insurer won't accept the wireless connections because it's community centre and.
No, we don't know that.
But we don't know that, but they're insured, it
Yeah.
was presented to us that they would, but he never got back to us.
But what is it we're trying to, sorry, I'm just, what is it we're trying to achieve here with that, with this? Sorry.
To comply with their insurers,
Oh, they're in it, right, okay.
yes,
Yeah.
if needed, we may have to change it from wireless to wired. I can't remember all the specific regs, but if it is that's the case, then they will have to pay to have it changed, not the council. So you think,
Yeah, well, yes, but, yeah, thank you.
there's a lot we do have to do with.
For Britain Grove, we got an external gate opening direction requires investigation, which we had the outcome from the fire risk assessment. And we will need to find a contractor who will adjust, fix, or just make the door to open the other side, not inside of the playground, but it needs to open in a way of people leaving the ground.
But it's been like that ever since day one.
Yeah, but now it's
Lots of things like that.
That part of it.
Yeah, it just depends what the father going to say.
Did they bring up in the fire risk assessment?
Yeah.
They did,
Yeah, but
yeah.
that's not a 5 day, that's next year.
Ex-emergency, yes.
Not the same thing.
But I think the fire brigade did mention it when they had a day for fire alarm.
yeah. When they attended the Britain Grove and there was the forest fire alarm.
Can I, sorry, just check on that then, all of our exterior gates been checked, because don't the ones here open inwards as well?
No, out, as you leave the building, if there's a fire, you leave the building, you push them.
Okay, that's fine, no, I was just double
And
checking.
as we on
Always worth double checking.
Pavilion Gate, the work has been scheduled for 18th of August for now, so it should be fixed.
Mhm.
These ones don't, does that matter?
They're out.
There are.
The ground outwards.
Are you talking about the main gate?
They should all
That's
push out.
not a little gate. Yeah, it's not, it's the main, those aren't covered, it's the doors from the building that are out.
Right.
No,
That's very like
because,
gate.
yeah, it says gate.
No, this at the Britain Grove is the gate.
Yeah.
Because there is, as you leave the garden, the gate opens inwards.
So those.
So they are
gates-
raising it, that those gates come inwards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, those gates come inwards, and I'm pretty sure that gate comes
No.
inwards.
No,
that-
that one's out.
That is fire.
Swing.
And I
fire
think
exit.
that one's out.
Fire
That one
exit.
swings out because
Those
you
are-
can't find it, that
All right, okay.
fixed it to.
But those
the
two-
fence.
Otherwise, it's collapsed, it's already.
I get, right, and I'm not being stand checked, but should we not check these, because if there's someone in here, the fire exit is the quickest route.
Not necessarily. It's a.
It wasn't picked up at the fire assessment, so.
But they were checking.
Well, yeah, But I think human nature would
Yeah,
would tell us that they just try and open the nearest gate.
Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't
And
it?
that's, if these are open inwards, you know,
I unlock these now.
if,
Yeah, we can check
if
that.
we've got someone looking at the other gates,
It's worth.
is it worthwhile, we might get a bit of a discount if we're getting these ones turned round as well. Just a thought.
Well, these are quite expensive because they're metal ones and it'd be quite,
Just need-
the one, right, it's wooden, so it'd be a lot easier to do. These will be quite close.
It's the welding.
These welding metal, and if it's not essentially required,
If we're fixing the gate bit down, the fence bit down there, when it got hit, it might be worthwhile asking the people, if we have got to do it, might be worth asking the people who are gonna do that, but at the same time, if they would quote. For
let's
that,
just get the gate checked and then we'll come back with, we'll do.
I believe it would be picked up while we had the inspection, but I can double check.
Okay, so anything else on that?
The last one says Britain Grove, but it should be Lavender Gate, because the cricket is at Lavender Gate. Sport field. And I believe this is on the agenda.
And the thing, we did the, building gate thing, both. They done or you still working on both?
Lavender Gate.
The posts were broken, weren't they, in back garden?
Okay, in the back garden, yeah, I was there with the contractor, I have one quote, but I obviously need more quotes, so it's working on it. It's actually, it was raised that all the fence around the Lavender Gate play area is health and safety issue for the children, because there's a hole, it's finger traps. But instead of replacing the fence, we're looking into putting the black mesh around whole fence, which is different option. So there will be two options, either replacement of the full fence or just putting the mesh around where we eliminate the hazard for the children with the fingers.
the second fence, not the responsibility of Milton Keynes City Council.
No, it's us.
What's it, Steve? And it was fixed up already. The fence is stable, like you can't really move the fence. But there are like holes in the fence and some stuff, the like pieces of the wood at the bottom they stand. So, well, yeah, there is other options how it can be fixed instead of replacing.
Obviously, we'd like to put that for summer, but that's wait till September to,
Yeah.
or could it be brought to our committee if it was more urgent to get it done within a summer time period?
I don't even know if the contractors will have time over the time because everyone is.
Very complicated. Going into the next committee meeting. Right. Okay, those reports.
Can I ask the question?
Yes, please do.
It's not about a specific point per se, but just in relation to the communication between WCC and WCN. Do we have something in place about how long it takes for each party to respond to each other? Because obviously the intruder alarm was something we spoke about at the last operations meeting.
Mhm.
And there was no update, and then months passed. And there's still no update, and then obviously the one on the bottom says about details needing to be sent, and no details have been sent. So it just seems like we're waiting for them when we shouldn't really be waiting for them.
We
Yeah.
basically had a meeting with them, everything they have to report, they report, that used to be to the operations officer, but now we've been reporting to Lenco, we keep spreadsheets of it. We were supposed to go through all these actions at the last WCF meeting, but it wasn't a very good meeting and not everything was discussed.
I get they're having the meeting to go through like sort of more addended items, but I just mean in terms of sort of passing communication, like
Yeah.
an update on the insurance, just simply sending some details, that doesn't need to wait for a quarterly meeting.
Agreed, yeah.
That should be within the next sort of 2 working days sort of thing, and that doesn't take long.
Yeah, I agree with that, because that's exactly what I noticed at the bottom. That there's actually an agenda, there's actually an item on here to say that that WCF will send cricket contractors contact details to Anbor. But if it's taking that long, if it has to actually come on a report, it does make me question, what kind of service level agreement we have with them with regards to the communication. And if they're not responding within a certain amount of time, then we do have to question how good is this working relationship that we have with them.
Can I, on this item, it's, I'm gonna take it off the report. That was basically when we had one of our meeting and WCF, they said they will send us contact for the contractor who can help us maintain the cricket pitches. It's
Right.
not the contract between us and them. It's basically, they meant to recommend someone who can help us maintain the cricket pitches.
Right.
But I will, yeah.
So, all right, okay.
And
Sure.
obviously, they didn't share the details with us.
Yeah,
because
that's
a few
that.
times. And
Exactly, that's
Yeah.
what I mean.
I think
If
that's
they're
the
not,
point,
that's the
isn't it?
point I'm making,
Yeah.
or think we're both making, is that we have to sort of question WCF's commitment or the partnership arrangements that we have in place, if they can't even send us cricket contractor details. And the fact that, it seems to be an ongoing thing, it says ongoing here, as well, but I think that's probably not what, I'm not saying anything about here, and I'm not saying anything about,
Yeah, I
us.
get your point.
I'm saying that, we have to question the relationship from their side, I think.
Yeah, I think what I would say then is they've met with the chair of the WCF and the, I can't remember her name, Susan, is it? Shirley will be coming to the next meeting we had with WCF with Caroline Bent, and 2 of them would be best placed to answer all our questions and keep the relationship going. But yes, the comp on both sides is something we can work with and do things from.
Yeah.
So when is the next meeting? Just that means that's.
I didn't schedule it, but it will be somewhere in September.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I was reviewing for the ops meeting, this is a.
We want to have it, yes.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so the allotment is talking on here because obviously, not having operations, obviously, we haven't quite got all the information, but they do redeal with materials and that. On that, so the folks that we accept these reports. Well, those in favour? Thank you very much. Everybody's favourite topic, budgets. Have you got anything to bring to our?
Nothing from the highway department.
Any comments on anything? No. Okay, vote to accept the budget. I'll second it. Right, on to another brief topic. The purchase growth compostable toilet.
Because compostable toilets, you know, the Walton allotment association fees. And they, the compostable toilets come under the Walton Community Council. It has been discussed at finance and admin. And it was decided that we will ask any plot holders if they would like to keep keep the toilets, maintain them and take care of them. There were 2 residents who showed the interest that they want to take care of them. So we need, we have the maintenance agreement about the composting toilets effectively long, which will be presented to those plot holders and just need
What are the conditions that they're going to agree to? Nothing's at our cost, is it?
nothing about cost, it all starts in the management agreement. The plot holders will maintain and ensure the toilets are clean. Council will inspect the toilets on a regular basis and notify plot holder volunteers of any issues. Should there be any ongoing issues with maintenance, the council can decide to remove the toilet.
And that, you've had support from all the plot holders that have been contacted, so that's very.
All of the plot holders were contacted to think about.
Okay, so we have a number of decisions to make here. One of them is that if we agree that the operating committee approves the attached handover agreements to formally transfer ownership of the compostable toilet from Walton Allotment, the Walton Allotment Association to Walton Community Council. I propose that. We have a second of.
I was going to say, is it, I think there's 30 odd plots at Duchess Grove. Is everybody there involved in the association?
It
Yeah,
It was just the plot holders, every plot holder.
No point.
That's all right, George.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favour? Okay. And that's 4.3, that the operation committee approves the attached maintenance agreement between Walton Community Council and the 2 plot holders who volunteers, and that's one of the paperwork attached.
Can I just ask a quick question before we go? Is there anything being put in place in case those volunteers leave the allotment or wish to not volunteer anymore? What's the process about?
Good point. I think we should put something in.
Otherwise, it's just left.
I think we should say that. So what do you think should be put in there?
Well,
I'm gonna say, can I suggest that maybe we go through we go back through the same process and then we ask again if a resident wants to come forward and then we take it from that.
I'm happy with that, yeah.
Sorry, it's people didn't want to butt in,
Fair enough.
just thought it's.
So if the two.
Deal with it on an ongoing
If the
basis.
2 volunteers drop out, then we go through the same process of
Ask.
Oh, yeah.
canvassing all the plot holders and asking volunteers, no volunteers, then we just remove it. Leslie.
Yeah, so there's another issue as well, that if those if the two volunteers don't keep up the maintenance, does it say something in here? I can't really see anything.
Well, it does, it says it's going to be regularly inspected by the council, and if it's not satisfactory, it will be,
I just missed it. Oh, looking for
Is the 2.1?
I just think there should be something in there that's sort of like a minimum of two
Oh, the
volunteers must
toilet will be
constantly
removed.
be
it looks
assigned
like
to it.
which responsibility, it said two probably
In failure to have two volunteers, then the council will remove,
Will remove
because it
the
can't be
toilet.
for
Yeah.
just one person
Yeah.
or thing, it needs to have at all times a minimum of two volunteers to assign to
Yeah.
take responsibility and upkeep for the other.
Yeah, would we just include that, say that it needs a minimum of two somewhere if it hasn't, sorry guys, if I've not read this.
That's fine, that's fine.
So minimum of 2 volunteers should take care
Yeah.
of the toilets.
Yeah,
We don't need that, we need that in our policy.
yeah, sorry, yes, that's right.
Between things that you've got two pot holders.
Yeah, that's this form, which is the
Yeah.
the two plot holders, and on this form here, that's effectively.
So that one.
The
Transfer.
the transfer.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the fine.
That, yes, that's maybe something on the can be there.
Sorry.
Obviously Mandy knows what I'm talking.
Okay, I would like to be clear, so you're saying that should be within the policy? Which policy we want to add it, or do we have to create policy regarding the toilets?
Let's take a formal policy, we just note in the minutes.
Yeah,
No, it's a minutes.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
that
fine.
makes sense, yeah. So we've got
Okay.
the minutes. So we're noting in the minutes that what's been said. And we've got the two series says responsibilities. So Butthole will maintain and ensure cleanliness of the content of the toilets. 2.2, the council will inspect the transport report on a regular basis and notify the dock holders, volunteers if there's any issues. Should there be any ongoing issue of maintenance, then the council will decide to remove the toilet
Do we need to specify what regular basis is?
monthly. So when you say your all, does it need to be that specific
Yeah,
monthly?
So then,
I'm just like regular. Because then if you miss an inspection, you can't get.
Yeah, it's gonna say regular, yeah, you could have a month and then somebody goes in the next
well, you
day.
could say regular basis at least 6 times a year. That's bi-monthly, isn't it, then?
So with all those changes, then I think we're ready to, the subject to all those changes, but we have need to approve the maintenance agreements in place. Yeah.
just 1 second, David, sorry.
Austin, Harry's hamsters is sick.
So the only thing you have to add is the frequency of the snow inspections.
Regular.
So we're keeping it as regular, Yeah.
And the question was,
that is for minutes. And for minutes, can I just double check? For the minutes, it will be minimum of 2 volunteers to take care of the toilets. And should the plot holders decide to leave, the same process would be followed. Dash contacting all plot holders. Showing them to.
Yeah. Just going through the same process.
Yeah.
Again, as we previously agreed.
Leave or wish to no
Yeah.
longer be a volunteer.
Okay.
So you've got that proposal for this?
So which bit was?
This is related to, this bit we've just been talking about, to add to the minutes, the statement, do you want to read it out
Oh,
again?
okay, no, that's fine, David, I understand.
Yeah. And to do the forms that are agreed here, I'll propose it. All those in favour?
Thank you.
Done, thank you.
So one question,
And read through the handover agreement. Yeah. If the Walton Allotment Association has dissolved, then
If we didn't go through the handover yet,
obviously,
that's still item 7.
also, I'm sorry,
So we sorted out the maintenance agreement between WCC and the board holders regarding the conflict of like.
sorry,
This one is the handover.
I was on 7, item 7.
Yeah.
I thought we did from both at the same time.
This agreement is made on between Walton and Lock.
4.2 was before the other one. Yeah, we did 4.2.
What is written.
Yeah, that one we had to agree, that thing we voted to agree. No, you agreed on on this one, on the, not 4.2, on 4.3. That's what I say, it's got 4.2, we voted on that.
So then you'd have to put form on then.
Is the handover, yeah. 4.3 is the maintenance agreement.
Hang on,
Yes, yes, so I thought we'd done the 4.2, but we haven't. You went for this one?
Yeah.
The maintenance agreement.
We've done, we ain't got back to front.
Okay, so 4.2 then is to formally approve the tax handover agreement to formally transfer ownership of the composting toilets from Walton Association to Walton Community Council.
Thank you. So the handover agreement does say this agreement is made between Walton Allotment Association and Walton Community Council. But on the back, it says signed on behalf of the former Walton Allotment Association. So should the agreement be with a representative from the former Walton Allotment Association and Walton Community Council? Because the Walton Allotment Association's been dissolved, I think
Yeah.
that's what we were getting at, yeah?
Yeah.
It just needs to just change. the
Yeah,
word.
that's fine.
that means that on the release of liability, would need to be changed to the dissolved association.
Yeah, yes. Or the or whoever it is that you're agreeing it with, so a representative of the former association agrees to transfer full ownership.
So wherever it says the association, that sentence needs to be added, because it's
Yeah,
that's at 3.1.
I think so. Unless someone has some better wording. Yeah.
This agreement is made with the representation of.
That was for the grants. That's what it was, wasn't
It was, they
Yeah,
got
it was,
grant from,
yeah.
was it the Wall Councillor? Or they get it from when?
They got the toilet, a greenhouse, a shed. And if I'm not mistaken, also a contribution to their composting days.
Yeah, and that was done by a grant,
it? That's what it was. Was that the grant? or
it was
that-
done by a section
Yeah, but
137.
most of this was held by the that committee, didn't they, that did this all, and the assets, we can talk about the possible toilet element to this. With those changes then,
Yeah.
are we happy to proceed?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll proceed,
You're not voting.
yeah.
I'll second it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, David, I think I dropped
To
the
wording
copy.
agreed.
Yeah. I'll second
Yeah, sorry, thank you.
That's all. Four is that the council is authorised to finalise these and sign the agreement on Walton Community Council behalf. They're going to give the authority to approve, get this agreement signed, so we have
Yeah, I'm
to
happy
proceed
to
there.
propose for that.
Three, four.
It's quite warm here, isn't it? I think we need to.
They finished now, haven't they? That's what we-
Yeah.
Might just be a good spot, but I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I think
It's a nice one.
Is it?
It is what it is,
Okay, right, so now we go on to review the council's maintenance contract.
Yes. So we have to review the proposal to extend the contract for the maintenance of council owned sport fields at Walnut Tree and Brownswood and the cricket square at Walnut Tree Pavilion and Barrington Gate Pavilion. The existing grant maintenance contract was awarded to Category 4 an initial 3-year term starting on 1st of September 2023, with the option to extend it for further 2 years. The contract covers maintenance of the sport grounds at Brownswood and Walnut Tree and the cricket squares at Walnut Tree Pavilion and Barrington Gate Pavilion. The contractor has confirmed that it's willing to continue providing the service, has offered to maintain current prices for September 26 until August 27, followed by 5% increase in second year of the extension, which will be September 27 to August 28. Underneath, we can see the services provided by the contractor. So there is ground maintenance for Hindhead Knoll, sports grounds, Walnut Tree, cricket square, Barrington Gate, and sports grounds maintenance at Brownswood. That is the current contract. Hindhead Knoll maintenance both are now in the house. The contractor has recommended some additional work to Brownswood Sports Ground, accounting to £7,229 and 26.27. There have previously been difficulties in maintaining the cricket square required standards. However, since additional measures were introduced in 25-26, including phase movings and tighter processes for the pitches, making marking and the cancellation of fixtures during the weather, the number of complaints has reduced significantly, and we had some couple of positive feedbacks this year on with this. The maintenance program has also been increased in 25-26 to support condition and long performance of the cricket square. The revised program includes weekly repairs, regular liquid feeding, annual dressing and annual overseeding, in addition to mowing, rolling, line marking, fertilizing, and so under the proposed extension, the annual cost for the whole contract would be 85,700 for September 26 to August 27. 5% increase in second year will result in estimated annual cost about 89,500 for September 27 till August 28, subject to the quantities and works required remaining unchanged. The council is also due to receive £10,040 grant from England and Wales Cricket Board towards the improvement and maintenance of cricket squares. The current grant will be entered into 2026-2027 accounts as other income and will offset some of the cricket maintenance cost for 26-27. Cricket square maintenance is a specialist service and there is shortage of experienced contractors. The current contractors is only contractor identified in the area that is able to provide the service required by the council. And I will, Leslie, follow up on your question in the reports. That's basically where, when we were struggling with the quality of the cricket pitches, that's where the WCF, Walton Community Facility, offered they will help us and they will recommend someone, but they didn't.
Right, okay. Oh, I've got you.
Sounds like
Thank
we've got the best in the area anyway, and the years the skilled people to do it.
Yeah, so extending the existing contract would provide continuity of service, retain the improvements made to the maintenance agreement arrangements, and avoid disruption to the preparation and maintenance of the cricket squares. I also would like to let you know that we've been helping with the watering of the pitches, so it's either the wardens or seasonal assistants who are twice or three times a week supporting the watering of the pitches, which I believe also helps to improve the conditions, although not to show in the whole days.
In the water ban doesn't cover sports pitches then?
No, it doesn't cover the businesses at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions? Yes, John.
This isn't so much about the contract, but I raised this before. I don't imagine it's too practical to do it in the middle of the season, but at the end of this season. I highly suggest that we have. The wicket oriented this way. Because of the solar panels. I brought that up with, was it the the health and safety guy that was here, the risk assessment fellow, and he agreed, having it oriented this way is just silly, because. When you're down at that end, you're launching it for 6 and you're practically aiming at the building, and those panels are not cheap.
They're expensive, but they've been too badly damaged so far, have they?
Well, there's 4 of them smashed.
So now I've got a
I don't know how
Quite
much that
expensive,
actually
yeah.
affects their ability to process power, but if we orient it that way, I think it'll make a huge difference, and I don't see why you can't do that. But like I said, it's probably not practical to do it in mid-season, but.
George, blessing.
Well, marking out of the wicket is probably quite expensive, I should imagine. So that's probably why it's not just an easy job to just change it around, but that could be investigated. Can I just ask about the 7,229? These figures, that figure, where is that shown in figures? And
It's not shown in figures.
it's not.
No, it would be on top of what is,
So it's on top of the 85,224. And in that case, then what
What do they want?
what do they want doing? Because it says additional work. What does that
that's
entail? Do you know?
obviously whatever they need to do with the field, like seeding. I have the quote from them.
Right,
You give me 2 seconds.
and is that not already in the contract then?
Well, not the addition what they suggested. This addition for £7,000 is not in the contract.
Right,
But let me just find it.
We've had to do similar things over the course of years since we've had it. We've had to do additional work like railing and special, but yeah.
okay.
Let's just see what it says.
That was obviously just suggested by the contractor, the council doesn't need to go.
This would be a separate decision, we'll go ahead with the
So
7,000.
that would need a separate decision, but it's not in the decision required, but is that something that if we agree to it, then we'd need to approve that? But I don't particularly want to approve something that
Oh, exactly.
I don't know why it's additional.
This additional quote
Sorry.
contains seeding of 11 versus 11 and basically all of the football pitches.
Yeah,
Application of top dressing, materials, DSV winter sports, and materials root zone top dress.
could I think what I'm trying to ask is,
Yeah.
if those things are required, is it something that's annual? Is it something that needs to be added to the contract next year? Or is it a one-off cost? And if it,
Okay.
and why it's probably not included in the contract in the first place. Now, there may be a good reason for that, but I'm not an expert in cricket pitches. But it would be good if we had that information.
Yeah.
Please,
Lisa.
thank you.
Right, I'm gonna be, grass is a weed. It will grow above 7 degrees. So my gut instinct is, I think we need more information than this, than what's there. Exactly what they're going to do, because if it was brought back to this meeting in September, technically, and a gardening person like George and our member of the public there will probably agree with me, if it needed reseeding, there would still be enough time for it to take hold before the winter. Yes?
Yeah, I mean, we can bring it back.
So my suggestion is that we bring it back to,
But are you talking about
the
the additional costs?
maintenance.
Just the additional
We
bit.
talk about the contract, but that ends at the end of August. But 2.6, we're just saying, bring that bit.
That bit back,
I think
yeah.
we're just talking about the 7,000. not-
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we are talking about the.
Yeah, we're only talking about the additional work.
So the question is if it's one-off cost or would it be included in both years? Obviously, with the second year, there is
Yeah,
I think it's a matter of understanding what the additional work is. Why is it not already in the contract if it's so essential? And if it is essential, is that going to be a yearly cost that needs to be added to the cost for next year? Because I think you said that with the 5% increase, it would be about 89,000, but if we've got another 7,229 to pay, it's going to be more like 96,000. So I just want that clarified really.
Yeah, so, I think on 2.8 as well.
2.8, yeah,
You mentioned the revised program that includes all of these different things.
yeah.
So we'd like to understand, well,
Yeah, because it's got overseeding.
what is it that's above that they want anyway?
Yeah, because it's got all the seed in there already, so.
But
if it's
Well,
a-
that's for the cricket
Oh,
square.
sorry,
Oh,
that's.
Brown foot is the football field.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's.
Oh,
That's
right.
right, yeah, totally.
On the football field,
So-
thank you.
The additional measures that were put in place to reduce the complaints and things like that. Is that part of the contract moving forwards?
No, that was just for this year.
So that's also highly likely to then be additional costs on for that as well. Because chances are we're gonna need it again
But I
to
don't-
maintain the quality that it's had the last. Well, since the additional measures were put in place, otherwise it'll go back to the original. Quality, which then the level of complaints will go up.
Yeah.
My second point is just about, obviously, you mentioned. You've got like the wardens and seasonal staff doing like the watering and things like that. Is that gonna be feasible for them to continue doing that when we don't have like seasonal staff and things like that? As well, or do we need to add that into the,
Well, I was under the impression
Agreement.
that this extra work doesn't need to be done every year, because I don't recall whether the previous years having to do.
well, if it's every year or every 2 years, we're extending this by 2 years, then we still need to consider it because.
Coming.
The second
Coming
year, the
back
costs are
here.
going up as well. And even though everything in that might not need to be done every single year, the amount of complaints that will. About the quality of the pictures and things like that was ridiculous. So. We do need to, clearly something needs to be done because the base level contract. And agreement is not enough to maintain a high enough standard.
Lisa,
So I get that the cut crew are sort of specialists in cricket pitches. That's not necessarily the same for football pitches.
Yeah.
Could we potentially look at a different contractor just for the Brownswood field, which is just football? Because
that voluntary football as well.
it is,
Well, it's mainly for football, cricket is more of a minor sports here. but more-
yeah, it's, well, then perhaps we look at someone that does the football area and we only get them to do the cricket square. You know, if they're,
I think, sorry, then you go.
Actually, the cut crew, they specialize more on football pitches than cricket.
right, okay.
But,
Cause that really surprises me that with the amount of football pitches there are in Milton Keynes. That we're struggling to get another,
there's that lot actually.
Yeah, but
yeah,
it's not football pitches that have been the problem, it's only
No, I
the
know.
cricket pitches.
no, I know, but that's what I'm saying, I get what you're saying. So are the cut crew specialists in sort of more target?
landscape containers.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but it says in there that there is a shortage of specialist. Contractors, now is that for the football or for the cricket?
Cricket.
For the cricket, so can we look at a different company, perhaps, that do the football side of it and just use them to do the squares?
Well, if you have to do that, you would have to go out to tender, and then you'd have to go through the whole tender process.
And we have
And it's quite
one-
expensive, and so it would take quite a long time to do it.
Okay,
And that's the thing,
Yeah,
if we were doing things, we didn't have to do that, we could just extend the contract by 2 years. And then we can discuss the extra, the work that's required. We could get them back in September to talk over what the extra bits are and ask them more
So I
detail.
want to take Toby up on your point about the additional cost this year that have been included in this price here.
It's not
Phrase
been
mowing
included.
and everything. Prices listed are the annual net amount for 25-26. And
But I
so
think
most of the
just the
things like the
standard-
phrase mowing would have been done if so that would be included in those costs.
Well, then what's the actual cost of the
No.
contract?
No,
Because
no, that's not what was said. The 7,229 is outside of these figures. That's.
Yeah, no, what,
Yeah,
That's not included.
yeah,
that's not included.
No.
but the,
That's additional work we need to do in the
Yeah.
future. I'm talking about what additional work that was done in the last year.
Right.
so then,
Oh,
so what
so,
is
right,
the,
okay,
yeah,
on different years.
That's just a problem, isn't it?
because then the other work, like the phrase mowing, is not included in the standard contract, then what's the standard contract price?
I think when
Or
it
is it now part of
went
the standard
to
contract?
do additional work at on the cricket pitches, that was the time where we looked where the cut through, we can cut some of the stuff which we decided to had not in the house. And that part of the budget was allocated to the cricket pitches. And that is actually something further I will need to check, but according to what we worked out and discussion with Jack when I prepared this report. It was, this is the contract 25-26. It would be same for 26-27 and 27-28. There would be a 5% increase. But
Usually the only bit you have to pay extra if you haven't had a topsoil put on, isn't it? That is normally the case where you have to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
just specialist machinery, just.
what I just want to establish is what the actual cost is going to be. Because if that was additional work that was carried out, if it's part of the new contract, fine, but then you were saying earlier that it doesn't need to be done every year. So then are we paying for something that doesn't need to be done? Or what we need to know what is actually in the contract. If that stuff wasn't included, but it's been included in those figures, what's the actual cost? So then we can make a decision.
Clarification.
Could we delay doing this and get Jack to come to the meeting so he can then.
Because this runs out.
Then I've got time.
We've got no
Not like
we've got no meeting in August, have we?
We'll spend it another 2 months to September and then get them to come here and answer all your questions.
The additional work that was done this year, was it done on the pitches? Because what we mentioned on 2.8 is.
Yeah.
What they're doing is it's the long-term performance of the squares. We're also now including this, because if I'm not wrong, it's 85,224,
yeah,
all right? We're not doing kind of head, not are we?
no,
So they've added another 3.5 grand into the top cost,
yeah,
okay? So I presume that's what 2.8 covers now.
That's the problem with presuming and assuming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But they are mentioning they're doing a lot of work on the cricket pitches here.
Yeah.
Which they didn't do before. Yeah, we should probably just clarify with them, is that the
Yeah.
additional work of the show? Does the, or as Toby said, is there another amount of money that you're looking? If we actually do exactly the same this year, next year. Would this cover everything, basically?
yeah,
The thing is if we don't agree this today, then, I mean, if we decided and said, no, we don't want cut through, that's what, then, they were in a bit of a sticky situation, because what else are we gonna do? We haven't got any time to actually agree something else, have we? Because before the contract ends.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I just be a pain in the bum and say, why is it coming so late? If we knew that
because it wasn't picked up on earlier.
we kind of let ourselves in a situation where we got no time.
Well,
It should have been raised earlier.
we've got to to clarify these points, but we could have agreed to continue the contract, but subject to clarification of several points. Like.
But what if we don't like the clarification, David? That's the
Yeah.
thing,
Well,
isn't
if
it?
you don't
So,
like the clarification, then you've got the,
but then we're
We've
too
got no
late
one.
because we've got no one, because the contract will end.
well, if we don't want to go with that, we've got to go out to tender, and that'll take a couple of months to do.
That's what we're saying.
That's what we're
And
saying.
they end up with, no one, so either you do this and, then just clarify the extra bits that are required.
Yeah, but the point that we're trying to make is we've been almost put into a corner with this decision. because
Oh, yes,
there's
no, it
no
is
real way out. But
Got no.
things get pushed and missed and things like that, but we just need to have clarification, that's all.
Well, the
we're
clarification,
saying.
yeah, we need clarification, but the clarification, if you don't agree it, then you've got to go out to tender, and that will take 2 months to end.
Yes, no,
No, but-
I think we all
Yes.
understand
Agree
that. I
that,
think
yeah.
what we're saying is that if we're going to receive this kind of information where we haven't got the time, that if we don't want and we want to change it, there's no time to change it, because there's no headroom in the process. What I'm saying is in future, we
Yes.
need some headroom. Yeah, so that if we don't like what we see, we've got time to go and do
We
something
should be
else.
looking at,
They should be planned into the
Yeah.
calendar that we have several months to do.
Yes.
I mean, yes, I've linked to the visit that it got overlooked and it's.
And
it's a
we're-
problem.
Fair enough, that's
we should be
fine.
looking at this in sort of January, ready for the September.
I think, can I suggest that, can we allow to have another meeting? Separate.
We could have a new- yeah, we could have
Yeah.
a special meeting.
Yeah, to get clarification, we meet again, just as a one-off, just to discuss through this, is that possible, are we allowed to do that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I suggest we do that.
We need to move it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
we have a
please.
meeting organised.
Yeah.
And then once you have
Okay.
clarification on the questions, someone.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
we-
it's a lot of money.
I will
It's a
provide
big deal.
the meeting.
yeah.
And answer the questions.
I think getting Jackie will be the key, so then you can answer all the questions,
Yeah.
and then you can put all these points to it, so. We'll call it extraordinary meeting on the, it's just another meeting, another committee meeting once we, just for that one item, yes, so.
Separate to the money bit for now, what was just out of interest, what was the number of complaints before the extra measures roughly? And then what level of complaint?
If
is it
you
now?
remember, we had nearly every other operations committee meeting, somebody from the cricket pitches attending. There were several emails. I think this year, there were 3 negative emails and about 4 positive.
And Walton Community Facilities said that they had to cancel several matches due to the quality of the pitch
Last year.
last year.
Yeah, which is nothing to be proud of.
So item 8 to defer to another meeting scheduled next time. Yeah.
So the proposal that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I propose we have another meeting.
An
once-
additional.
An additional meeting, once we get the information clarified. All those in favour?
Yeah.
So we need all the information, don't we, through that. Okay, go to item 9, which is recommended water meter, potential installation.
So at the moment, obviously, Walton Community facilitated, gave us access to the water at the Walton Gate for us to be able to water the cricket pitches. However, there will be probably the cost involved for Walton Community Council. And there were debates if we should pay them certain percentage or install the meter reading for the water just for the water in the cricket pitches. So the Walton Community Council pays just for the water they use for the maintenance of the cricket pitches.
We tried to get them to talk over a reasonable solution without the water, so that it just wasn't possible in the end to do that.
So will the new meeting possibly allow that?
Possibly.
So is it, sorry, I'm gonna be a pain in the bum and go, is this worth deferring until we speak to them? Did you say shh? Oh, that's, oh, I thought you said there was another meeting with. Oh, so
There
you're
was
not
a
voting until
meeting,
September,
yeah.
yeah. And then with, but she still spoke, still
Yeah,
wants this.
they agreed with water, storing the water.
Allow us to use the.
Right, so,
But yet complain about the state of the cricket pitch.
Yeah, Lisa.
so it says there, decisions required, decide whether to install a separate water meter at Wadman Gate. And if we decide to install a separate, to bring the quotes of the installation to the next meeting. Well, surely that should be the other way around. We need to know what the cost is of fitting the potentially.
If the committee today decides that they want to implement it into the lease, maybe, because that's the other option.
Right.
So we would be obviously kind of wasting time for obtaining the quotes. So we need to decide if the council will implement it into the lease, or we will install the water meter reading and council will pay for the that they use.
I was gonna say, can I be a fan? I'm kind of along their lines, because we're back to this whole, we can't make a decision till we know the costs, because if the costs are extortionate, can we say, no, we're not prepared to install a water meter, and then
We could agree it's subject to that.
Well, you agree to, we could get the cost, I think.
Yeah, and then-
What to me, then we can make a final decision.
oh, no, yeah.
At the next meeting, I mean, they were very adamant, they wanted to save water, which is why they had the special taps fitted in there, because they kept, the kids keep leaving taps on, and it was stated about the high bill they were having. And obviously Walton Pitches was a need to do it, because they couldn't get the revenue from it, but.
I mean, I completely agree with them. I mean, if we're responsible for the pitch and paying, then really we should pay for the water. So I'm kind of, do you know what, I understand where they're coming from, but if this is gonna be an extortionate amount of money, then I'm kind
Well,
of.
we aren't gonna know that until we actually has.
So this is what we're saying. We
No,
don't know the amount.
But the council, I think,
that-
least wasn't they was responsible.
I wouldn't think that it would be a huge amount to install a water meter.
I don't know.
Um,
And you know, so I'm doing that.
Dig up my hospitals.
No,
No, it's only a meter, it's not drainage or anything.
No, but how do you?
there is
Exactly.
access to the water.
The access
using
thing.
It's an
now
access
already.
point.
And you would just do a branch off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that got repaired because it didn't work for years. That's why
Yes.
the pictures were so dry. So earlier in the year, we had it repaired. So now Rebecca, they are concerned about costs involved in it, because there may be penny caps. And they said, as it was the lease handed, as it was, we took it over, part agreement was that we were responsible for the pictures. And he made a point of making that. So I think his decision is, do we want to go for a separate water meter and to agree to explore costs of fitting water meters?
I don't think we can decide whether we want a separate water meter until, I don't think we've got enough information there.
Well, I think
Because we don't know what the cost is, we don't know what the.
So what we're doing is we're telling our part to go out and find what the cost
Yeah,
is.
that's what it is, yeah.
But no, it says to decide whether to install a separate water meter. If the operations committee decides to install a water meter at Wadman Gate, then we explore the cost of it. That's what that says on there. It doesn't say explore the cost of it and then we'll make the decision. To me, that's the wrong way round.
Well, yeah, that's what you're saying, but if you don't, yes, you have to explore the cost of the water meter, but if you don't do it, they don't want, the option they want is the water meter.
But surely that decision's Walton Community Council's decision.
Well, we could write into lease that we have access to the water as part of the agreement, and we don't pay any water costs.
Or you agree a percent, I don't know.
But it's not that simple, is it?
No, it
No,
never is.
That's the thing, so we can't just agree 4.3 because that will have consequences and absolutely certain of it.
And also.
And I don't think we can agree 4.2.
And I know some of us are saying, I mean, I don't know the cost of a water meter, but sometimes it's a can of worms. We don't know what they're gonna find, and all of a sudden they go, oh, then if this work needs doing, that work needs doing, until you get to that point.
I think we just need to explore the costs before we make any further decision to see what is the cost of the water.
But we don't need any new connection or any new.
No, I
pipe.
think just need
So then
to.
most providers will do it free or for a very small charge if it's just simply a meter, as long as there's no connection.
Oh,
branch off the existing pipe work.
So that we do.
Yeah, so there might be.
There'll probably only be top
additional
of
costs.
1,000.
But the purpose of the report is, of this item, if we want to go the route with the installation of the water meter reading.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be brought up to the next meeting, but we needed to start somewhere.
Effectively agreeing it in principle.
Once we get,
Well, I don't know if we can agree
No.
in principle, because if we just agree in principle, then we're not,
Agree.
the officers don't have the authority to then discuss it with WCF, because it's just an in principle decision. I think this is the problem, isn't it?
I personally think we need to get the quotes first, it needs to be brought back. We need some kind of estimate from them, and anyone can go out and pull up their thing and read their meter. It's the same as reading your gas meter and electric meter. You can pull up the little thingy, read the meter, water it, or read the meter again. You're gonna get an estimate. You know, it's not gonna be accurate, 100% accurate, but you're gonna get a guesstimate. If you did that for a week, you know, there is the possible, and if we decided to go down the separate water meter route, and we had an outside tap that is only meant to be used for the watering of the pitches, then I would be saying that tap needs to be in a lockable thing, so it's only us, because anyone could use it. You know, so.
well, they were adamant that they didn't want to have any liability of costs on that water, although they wanted the money from the pitches to subsidise the bill. So, I mean, we wanted to come to a reasonable arrangement where we could work out the water usage and all that. But I think the only decision we can make is to get the costs of lockable water meter.
It needs to be a lockable tap. It needs, you know, if you've got.
Well,
Yeah, it needs to
meter with
be,
the
yeah.
tap, and then we can bring it perhaps that the extra meeting we've organised to decide further. Because if you need to change anything to put it in the management agreement, then we will need to do that
Yeah.
in September, but we haven't got all the facts to make the decision at the moment. So it's.
And I would be happy with that. It just doesn't sit right that you giving, you either agreed to have the meter, or we change the lease. We need to investigate and have more, again, we need more information. I need more information to make that informed decision.
But if we don't want to put the tapping, for example, then we have to go other routes of changing the lease to say we're back to et cetera, but we're not there yet. So we
Yeah.
need the board docs.
But then, I mean, and then what is the implications of that? Because if we say, okay, then, we're not going to install a meter, and we amend the lease, what is the implications of that?
We can find out legally and.
So, well, not legally, what's the implications as far as costs are concerned? Because how is that going? Well,
How's it calculated?
how's it, yes, thank you, Amelia, it's been a long day. Yeah, how would that be calculated? Is it a fixed fee that we would need to give to WCF, or how would that process?
So that was what we were trying to get from the meetings, a fixed cost and price, but I wouldn't even consider any options like that.
I think we need to review
Yeah,
the whole
I
thing,
think
if
so,
honest.
yeah.
So I think we're agreeing here then to go away to look at costs for a lockable tap with a meter, and we will bring it back to that extra meeting that we're organising in August.
Yeah.
I don't think will be doable to do it, to get all of them that votes. Can we have it for September?
We can have for September, I don't mean September.
Yeah.
What this?
So we have
Yes.
a cost of lockable tap, quote for installation, the meter reading, and then we need to know the implications.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we decide not to install the water meter, what the implications of that would be.
Yeah, indeed, the costs,
Yeah.
how will they calculate the costs from your.
Yep. Right.
Okay, so you,
You
yeah, yeah,
to move that.
okay, yeah,
Well, I'll move it.
I'll second it. Yes. Okay, so that's the Walton meter. And another one for Walton. This is the, you have a look at the pavilion, it's the grills on the front of the building, placing the pitches. There's a below the grill across there, oh, I thought it was, we were confused for a long while, which grill it was, but it's all those grills are on the front. They need to be removed, so the windows can be cleaned and then put back on, because the people trying to hit those windows.
So I thought we discussed this, because I'm sure.
I was just on a report that.
Yeah, yes, I remember seeing
to add on
you
that
showed,
agenda.
you showed us some pictures, didn't you?
So they've had a few, their user groups saying the windows were filthy. They definitely need to be done. We weren't sure who installed the grills in the first place, no one seems to know. So I think the decision is to request that we consider the following two with either window for agreement to remove the grills from the window, and got to determine who's going to pay for the cost of the cleaning the windows. That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, so we need a decision, yeah, approve the removal of the window grills. And who will pay for the,
Sorry, I'm gonna be a pain in the bum again.
Sarah?
Because I remember us asking before about, was it sorry, I haven't got that information, was it a safety issue, and were we putting the grills back again? I'm sure.
That was
about
why we thought it was a smaller window and it was a smaller grill. I think we were always confused which one.
No, but this is what I'm saying, I'm putting the guts in it, so. We're saying we're removing them, and then, but are we, but this, sorry, it's just the,
You
it's
need
the
to
fine
put them
thing,
back.
they are going back.
They need to go back because the cricket balls will
It
hit
just
the
says
window.
removal and window clean, but I was just like, just confirming, we're putting them back on.
And there's a lot of windows. It's.
No, that's what I'm asking,
Quite a
we're
lot.
putting them, and that's part of what we're looking at. I'm putting the grills back.
Yes.
I have so far just one quote for removing them. I will need to obtain the second quote. The removal of the pan, of the grills from both sides will be £270. Then fit them back on £290. Then if we want to jet wash them, it's £210, and I just asked for quote for cleaning the windows inside out, that is about £490. That's the Walton Gate Pavilion from both sides, from the side of the cricket pitches and from the side of, from the gardens.
Just looking at whose responsibility is for the windows. It's.
Why is it
How
costing
many
more?
times per year is that then? For the window cleaning, is that once or is that twice a year, 3 times?
No, that's just once we remove the grills.
Okay. Okay,
It
yeah.
hasn't been done in a very long
Yeah.
time.
No,
Is there any reason why we do this or something?
we will need scaffolding because it's all the.
Oh,
The
scaffolding.
triangles roof, and then all of the doors and everything is glass.
Yeah.
Is this one company would do all the work, or would be separate companies?
For this, I have quote from one company.
And what's the total cost of all this?
Well, if that involves scaffolding, then that's probably not that expensive, if I'm honest, then. I didn't realise it was scaffolding.
And if, sorry, I haven't got pictures, I should take the pictures, as you know, the Walton Gate, it's a glass roof, the triangle one. And then each section, the doors, they higher than these, like, and all of the windows.
They've all got separate grills,
Yeah.
haven't they, which makes it really difficult. It's a whole
It's a
range
big,
of
it's a big panoramic set of glass that overlooks the cricket pitch.
Why is it more to put them back on than to remove them?
Let's probably cut them off with grinder, where you got to probably.
Oh, 270, so remove them, was that right?
Yeah, 270.
270 to
I
remove.
thought you said 170.
270.
Oh, two.
Would it be possible not to have a drill, but have a.
Yeah, can you
roller
flies right through the grill?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
By
say.
the windows, the grills, they go really like tiny holes like this.
Yeah,
So the window will stay, all the dust, everything will stay on the windows.
Could it,
It's just like
could it be
around it.
though we could look at alternative grills, whether they could have a big roll down shutter perhaps?
I think that would be cool.
Leave a wall with it.
That is why-
Oh, yeah, well,
you've still got to remove the ones, you've still got to remove the ones that are on there though,
yeah,
so that's
they're
not
all
gonna
just
reduce that,
rather
is
than
it?
face
Oh, yeah.
grills.
No, you just replace it with grills that open, that they're padlocked shut, so that you can open to clean the windows.
That makes sense, yeah. So we fix the solution now, with this one off it.
Yeah.
Just put hinges on the side of each grill,
And,
yeah, turn it into a door.
How, I'm trying to work about the triangle part of,
It could be
Put it
expensive
on,
though.
put it on the long axis of the triangle, so you fold it that way. If
As
it's
long
like
as it's
that,
secured and.
So we need to get extra price and come back again with,
to look at getting them hinged.
yeah.
Well, the ones I thought, we just need to find a simpler system to mount them on.
Yes, that's a better word for putting it, yeah. Yes, Lucy.
Can I just refer to 5.2? And this is to determine whether the cost of cleaning the windows should be met by Walton community facilities. Yes,
Yes.
please, I would say.
That was gonna be £400, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, they should do it.
Normally they clean the inside, but they can't do the other side, and that's the side that's got, because it's probably never been off, because he said they put them on, because they had a lots of burglaries, and they wanted to make it more.
So they put them on.
no, it was done by London
Yeah,
people,
well,
they can't-
yeah.
they got the building.
They've been there for years.
Yeah, I know they did.
So basically, it's gonna cost us, without the cleaning, it'll cost us £770. Remove the grills, put them back on again and jet wash them.
But we also want to consider having a removable solution.
Yeah.
That'll be going forward, because otherwise that's a different decision.
I think it is because in a way we need to get them done, don't
Yeah.
we? So
Yeah.
why don't we do this, yeah, and then look at the solution or an alternative at a later time so that we actually get it done and come back
Yeah.
at another time with an alternative. Maybe probably when they need to clean it again or
And
something.
And then we'll.
and the £400 for the cleared windows, that would be met by Walton Community Facilities.
I would say so, yeah.
Right.
So 5.1 is to approve removal of WT.
Can we have that changed when it's limited to the removal and refit?
Sounds better.
Because it's, as it's, at the moment, it doesn't
Yeah, fine.
allude to the fact that they would be going back on.
Yeah,
Okay.
Can I, sorry, before you vote, can I just check, so what exactly are we paying and what are they paying?
So we would pay for removing them, jet washing the grills, once
Mhm.
they off the windows, and then fitting them back on the windows.
so we would pay £770 and
Right,
they would pay 490 for the cleaning.
But they obviously, they can find different person to do it for them, it's just like, I wanted to know,
Yeah.
like the rough cost, so I have
Yeah,
something.
yeah, well, roughly about that, yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
but
roughly.
surely it, because with the grills and the cleaning of the grills,
The grill.
that's not a repair, so that's a vanity thing. And they're responsible for cleaning of the building.
The windows.
We're only,
But not the grill, we're not the grills.
But if the grills
that's
were
the thing.
already in place.
Well, it's
We're
different, aren't they?
responsible.
It's part of the asset.
we're responsible for
Yeah, the
repairs
assets.
to the building.
Yeah.
But we're not repairing anything,
But yeah,
they're just simply cleaning the grills with the jet wash and taking them off too. The only reason we're taking them off
Yeah.
is for them to clean the windows.
Do you say you want them to do the whole
Well,
cost?
it's a.
If
I
that's-
would think it falls under a vanity thing, it's not a repair, so they're
Not
responsible for. I don't see why we're
If they're
responsible. for it.
responsible for the cleaning, then, yeah, I just thought.
If we changed it, if we changed the grills, that's us. But we're not changing the grills at this stage, so I don't get why we're paying anything.
That's a good point. I mean, that's why it's down to whether we want to pay for all the big grills, and you just made a good point, I think, that it's, what does everybody else think?
I suppose if we decided we were going to remove the grills and we were not going to put them back on again, that would be a different thing as well. but I think you're right, if this is removal of the grills and the grills are going back, then yeah, this is a cleaning issue. And I agree with you that it's not a repair issue, and if that's what's in the lease, then I agree, we probably shouldn't be paying for any of it.
Yeah, but don't forget, we don't have a signed lease yet.
It's a holdover lease with
Um,
council Grafton Gate, that's the thing, we haven't agreed with final lease, but you wouldn't
yeah,
be
of course,
agreed
yeah.
with Britain Grove.
I still
Well,
think it stands because they're responsible for the cleaning.
Could we, oh no.
do we need to find out what is the holdover lease and who's responsible for what? Before we make the decision. Because we won't be safe as long as we have a Britain Grove.
Agreed
I suppose they
to.
were installed afterwards when they got involved, they installed them later, and then presumably sell them. It'd be interesting to see where it's mentioned even.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be on
What I
those.
can remember about the leases with Milton Keynes, the council for heritage, it was very basic.
Now they're gonna show us the lease between MKDC and WCA. They'll share the document with Walton Community Council.
Well, we should have a copy when we signed it, shouldn't we, when we
Yeah.
handed over to us, they should have, or would they? Give us a copy? But we can request a copy from Milton Keynes Council, of the. Do we say we want to delay it until we've looked at the T's and C's on the existing?
Well,
Yeah, I agree, that's
Good ones to delay.
I don't think you're back and say this.
Yeah, well, yeah, we either do that or we just say it's your cost, we agree and then say, please, all three from you,
There's no fault, there's no issue, there's nothing to fix.
and go from there.
So we say it's because it's not a repair to the building or an improvement, it's just removing them and putting them back on for a window
For them
cleaning,
to
which is,
physically look at
which
everything.
is. If you need it,
That's
yeah,
not,
it's just.
Are we responsible for maintenance?
If it goes wrong, yes, then on certain bits like the boiler, the heating, there's defined responsibilities of what we have and what they have, but it's mainly when
and this is gonna be ongoing as well.
It's not technically maintenance, is it? It's cleaning. Yeah, but that's not,
That's what they're right.
That's the point.
yeah.
You agree?
So we know the Walton Community Council will pay for remove and refit. So we just want to decide who will pay for the jet washing the grills.
No,
Yeah,
we're saying we don't pay for it.
All of it needs. Yeah. No, they pay for all of it, yeah.
Jet washing. No,
Don't
are
they-
you meaning?
They pay for everything, including the removal and refit of the grills.
See, I think that would come under our responsibility because it's the exterior of the building. I think that we would be responsible for removing and refitting the.
But there's
Then have
technically
some
nothing
say
wrong
for
with them, is there?
For the, with the cleaning, you'd say that's external, so, you know, so why have we got a choice as to like.
You know, it's not something that's actually screwed into the
I
building.
understand what you're saying, but it,
So they could say that we need to get it clean, and the other we get clean if you remove it,
Mm.
the thing, it's yours, therefore it goes on the lily, you don't mind.
I mean, it does, I mean, it needs doing, doesn't it? So, you know, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I suppose the £770 is a huge amount with everything else that we pay out for that, and I'm just wondering whether or not we just
At
don't
basic
bring it.
minimum, if we have to pay for the removal of the grills, fine, but not the jet washing of the grills.
So removal of refit, WCC, jet wash of the grill and cleaning the windows, Walton Community.
So we clearly.
If we're taking that approach, then should we not ask, well, since we're taking them off in the future, why would we want to put them back on again?
Because of the
Because we're
cricket
just
goal.
creating, I know, but what my point is, we're just creating another bill for ourselves down in the future, when we say we're gonna have to.
Yeah,
take
well,
them
right
off.
now we don't have a
Next
solution.
Long-term solution.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they've been there for about 20 odd years, haven't they?
Yeah.
And
So there's the other thing, you may get them off and the maintenance at that condition, that you may not be able to put them back on. And then could you reorientate the cooking grid so it doesn't back towards the pavilion,
That's
isn't
a
it?
different conversation.
Well, actually, it ran, it does run. So it doesn't.
I thought he said something that he didn't think they were exactly necessary, because it was more a security thing, didn't it? That's one of the things, but. So we're just going down the route of this time, we pay for the removal and refitting, and they do the jet washing.
Jet washing clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so first, so we agree that we're going to remove the grills and refit. Is for 5.1. And then 5.2 is that they pay for the cost of cleaning of the windows.
And
And the grills.
Yeah, jet washing grills. So those are the two proposals on the table.
Yeah.
I'll propose them.
So sorry, who seconded that?
Mandy.
Oh, Mandy, thank you.
Well, it's a good debate, you got all the unions down there. Okay. Fire with assessment and count.
I'm sorry, I put the radius, it was too small.
What says?
Now I was friend this in the life.
If you put your glass like that. it's
But you can't do on things, that's
I mean, on a PDF, and it wouldn't convert to a Word document, I think it would increase the font, which is why I don't like using PDF documents, because you can't make them. legible.
Okay, so let's go through what the.
Okay, so the private assessment had been performed, it was also facilitated. There is some outcome is with the higher priority, which needs to be actioned as soon as possible. Some is medium and some is below. So it was obviously with our provider, with our current provider, we had few consultation days with them, which were including in the package we purchased at the beginning of the year. As we gone through the stuff, there was few issue highlighted regarding, for example, the risk assessment, which we have quite few in place now. But that was with the support of the consultant who attended our fire risk assessment across the facility. So that was during the first visit in February. It was found that health and safety policy needed to be reviewed and updated. Also, the council's current health and safety provider is recommending the drafted health and safety policy for Walton Community Council, which is attached to the NHB. I did not print that out, quite the pages, but I got copies there.
Don't do, shouldn't do much.
Pretty much, and I think it's not a health and safety plan.
So with the extra money will be then to try and get this policy into this proposal into a format.
It is similar to obviously the staff handbook which we had for.
That's in a health and safety policy, one page. My organisation.
What was that, sorry, just say?
That's a health and safety policy.
Yeah,
Their health and safety policy isn't a health and safety policy, it's a list of health and safety policies.
right.
The health and safety policy itself should be a statement of intent and just how health and safety is organised within your organisation. Everything else fits into it.
Isn't just putting all the relevant, yeah, you have a statement, you could have all policy in a handbook, so.
Yeah, it's not, it shouldn't be in one, if you give someone a 65-page document saying, here's the health and safety policy, they are not going to read it. They will ignore it.
But we could have a health and safety
It
statement.
would be intent and saying how health and safety who is organised and who is responsible for what.
Then you have policies that would
Sit underneath that.
sit underneath it, which is where this would effectively come in, wouldn't it? So you we could agree to have a health and safety policy, statement, and then the policy sitting underneath it, which would be the handbook for all these policies, then would be.
Only relevant policies as well, because there's no point having a policy if you don't undertake that type of work. Which,
Yeah.
I saw in there.
Yeah, well, that obviously that is designed for a lot of organizations.
Yeah,
We
that's what I'm
would
saying,
take-
it's not tailored.
Yeah, but we would tailor it in, for the council, we would take off what we don't need. We would add what we need.
But where does this come from then? What is it like the work nest of right, the work nest have given us this as a kind of example then, I think, so that we can see and then we can take back what we don't need.
Assessment, isn't it?
Well, this came out of the assessment, the report is about the equipment and about.
They
the
have flagged
outcomes.
up, they have flagged up issues at specific sites.
Yeah,
Right. So this is the assessment of our health and safety.
yeah, but on the
situation.
report, there's, yeah,
Right.
So we do have a health and safety statement currently, don't we?
we have. Let's explain one.
So it's like we're saying, so we have the health and safety statement, but the policy would be if underneath the statement. And that's where the work nest bit comes in, to tailor it to the council's requirements.
It also feels like this is a bit like a risk assessment to come through and you've said, for example, is the weekly testing of the fire alarm system undertaken?
This is the risk assessment.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that I really, you know, I'm trying to understand what do they want to create. These are all the risk assessments.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do with all these questions? Because they're very, very different areas.
Well, my understanding,
Well,
right,
this-
they've actually flagged up some issues that we need to
We
actually
need to
deal
note
with.
down.
But it's also, well, very difficult because it's just time. I mean, if you're having a table like this, it should have literally grid lines so you can see which applies to what.
Yeah.
Rather than having to go through it in a ruler.
And
For instance, at Walnut Tree Pavilion, they observed combustible material, it just needs to be dealt with. And no, period, it's a fire risk.
Yeah, but I'm trying to understand how that relates to a policy. It's not
Right,
really.
but it's a risk, what you're saying.
Yeah,
I understand it.
Policy risk. Yeah. I'm just trying to understand what are they asking that we create? What are they creating? They highlighted where we've got gaps. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. What do they want to do with these gaps now?
So the council needs to take action and fix them.
Right, so we need to go through the risk assessment, but policies. Yeah.
what we're being asked to do, to go through the risk assessment or to agree a policy.
I think
Well, for me, we don't actually have to go through it, it's just this is stuff that needs to be dealt with. If it's green, we're fine, if it's red, it's priority, it needs to be fixed. If it's orange, then they're recommending that it's fixed. So we just need to.
The report
What they
from the
said.
risk assessment for each facility was attached for you to have some kind of overview
Right.
of what is wrong with the facilities and where we need to have additional work or where we need to fix, especially the high priority items,
So this
each
is,
facility.
so you're going to be with the team working through the risks.
Well, we have to, yeah.
Yes, and then some of them, like if they're with Bradley Gates, they're like the pack test, and that's their responsibility to pack test most of stuff, etc., isn't it? Yeah, Leslie, then George.
Just to ask, is this a generic risk assessment that's usually given to anyone that manages buildings? And if so, what things in here are we already doing? Because are you saying that all these things are gaps, are all these things we're not doing? Or do we need to go through this and highlight what we are doing and then?
Obviously, on this report is everything what hasn't been done.
It hasn't, that
It
needs to
hasn't
be
been
done.
done, it needs to be
Right.
actioned.
Okay,
And we need to start with the red ones, with the high priorities.
okay, but thank you.
Yeah, George.
So basically what I'm saying is this is a list of issues that need to be corrected or issues that have been flagged up as satisfactory. So for me, what I'm saying is I think the only thing we need to know is from Link, if there's issues on here that aren't necessarily An example, for example, I'm going back to the combustible materials. If there's a case where we have nowhere to put them, then Lincoln would say, we have to deal with this, but we need some kind of a storage facility for them.
So a customer material, you have to comply with the cost.
That's right.
And you have to have it stored, and you have to have all the relevant data sheets, etc. When you've done this work.
So my point is, as far as the council is concerned, our only real input in this is if Lenka says we have a problem and we need a solution to this problem because we don't have one. Everything else on here is just stuff that needs to be fixed.
Which may or may not be our responsibility.
Yes,
Well, that's right.
true enough.
Definitely for Walnut Tree and Heronswood meeting place, that is our responsibility and,
So at the moment, you will be going through each of these to decide what you do with the red first. The bit was here, wasn't it, about the electric, the batteries, at the back there, and
Yeah.
people wandering through it, could get electrocuted, etc. The storage of chemicals in the.
There's an issue of, we are accruing additional costs to deal with something that we don't have the ability to manage, then that's something that we need to decide. But for me, everything else just needs to be fixed. By whoever can fix it.
Because I think it's two elements to this. One is fixing this and making sure it kicks off. And the other bit is, yeah, I'm putting
Yeah.
out two different things.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're gonna help fix all of this. Right? They're not gonna,
our job.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is the bigger job in
Yeah.
terms of what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And they kind of prioritize what you need to do first and what, and even the green ones you need to do. Looks like.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I don't-
yeah, cool.
I don't think that's the issue. I think getting off what the actual agenda items for is just in terms of whether we need to book these consultancy days, not whether everything needs to be done. It needs to be done. That's the whole point of the risk assessment. But the decision that we need to talk about today is, are we booking these additional consultancy days, and are we agreeing to start working on a policy moving forward? That's what we need to be talking about.
Right.
Otherwise, we're just gonna go round and round and round in circles.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we ask Al, what we do at the moment with regards to our health and safety, have we got a, facility software, or we get anything like which would remind you when certain things are due and that kind of thing, or we're doing it all off spreadsheets, or how do we know that these things are, are due? How do you know that,
at the moment, it's the spreadsheets.
working off spreadsheets? Because there are systems out there which would be really helpful, because it would give you reminders about when things are due. The time taken would just be to do all the inputting, but then there are management software things there are software, health and safety type software or things like that, which are really useful for community centres or the running of community centres. So for instance, Scribe do one, they do an asset system that might be slightly.
That's one of the things that it talks about using the consultancy days for, is to help the council improve its management system.
But going on the consultancy day is just about information and talking about how we process that information, how we record it, and whether it's all in one place. If we're all using spreadsheets, we know what happens. It's difficult to it's difficult to keep up to date with everything. Whereas your reminders, what I'm saying is, if you had an appropriate software system, that would give you your reminders
So
as
with
to what you need to do.
consultancy days help you to.
What I would say is that it might be worth looking at something like a software program that would help, before we start doing the consultancy days. So, I don't know, maybe do both. I don't know, not too sure. But what I'm saying is that if we have systems in place that will assist us to understand that, next up is that you need to do your fire assessment at wherever, at Walnut Tree. that's gonna be better than relying on a spreadsheet, which.
Oh, yes,
You- you-
it's a I can see your point, you know, looking to, a package that's going to help us
Yeah,
manage
yeah.
it,
And that means that everybody could have access to it, which means that you're not relying on one person's spreadsheet or where have they stored it, where have they filed it? How do I know that the fire alarm needs checking tomorrow, you know, if they go off sick? Because all that would then be.
but then it's like having a consultant.
But you know, but it's just for an example.
But also,
Recommendation of any software?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I've got
Yeah.
some details of something.
but.
We can maybe
with
bring it back to the next meeting.
With a consultant, for example, help us dive deeper into these issues.
I'm going to propose that we don't. Consultants.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna be a bit of a hard booper and say, first didn't work this, don't get me wrong, I know we had the consultancy, but we agreed like a fee, and now all of a sudden we're up to 2 days at, you know, nearly £2,000, and
They're moving the goalposts.
we're back to this, the thing of it, we're not getting complete information, it's like. It said there, you know, that we had these 2 consultancy days, and now, yeah, like you said, they're moving the goalposts, and all of a sudden now we need to do more, and is it after that we're gonna need another 2? I'm kind of with Mandy.
Can I say, sorry, I mean, I know I've just got to go back to it, but if you have something like a system, right, it will remind you anyway what you need to do. And then if you need some help to do that, then that you could go to WorkNest then and say that we're due to have this done, but we're not quite sure, you know, how to do it. Could you give us some advice? And that's, I think, would be really helpful. That's kind of information that you could get from WorkNest, you know, but go to WorkNest with some, you know, with knowledge that this is what we need, rather than saying, what do we need, where they can just throw a load of stuff at us that we don't know whether we need it or not. If you have the appropriate software in place, it will then update all your legislation, it will update legislation and tell you what you need and things like that. So I think we should look at that maybe at the next meeting. That will help you, it will help the new facilities officer to do their job as well. And then we could then come back and look at what maybe consultancy might be needed after that, once that's been in place for a while.
So,
I agree that the software is the long-term solution, things like that to that. And I agree about the fees, obviously keep adding up and blah, blah, blah. But actually sort of just going off sort of the last point there, about we do actually have currently, well, we are gonna have 2 new members of staff who are gonna be directly sort of linked to this. Would it be worth having 1 or 2 or whatever consultancy days just to help with that sort of transition and help them get off their feet with it all a little bit, because they're potentially gonna come in sort of brand new to sort of all of this, so would it not?
their job role with
Yeah,
us to do
and then that
absolutely
means then
nothing.
hopefully by doing it now, when they're coming on board, we've sort of wiped the slate clean, we then look into this software about sort of future proofing the management long run. And then we don't have to do any more consultancy days in the future, but it might just help whilst we've got changes in the teams and things like that.
That's the-
Just to
that's
sort of
it.
set the,
Yeah.
set the stone.
And it depends on the expertise of people coming in, you might find one that's actually got a health and safety presentation, like an e-watch or something. And then kind of someone
Do
do the
it so they
same
get
thing.
it, yeah.
Or we could just say if we feel it's required or something, and maybe put condition on that. I don't know, maybe I'm not.
So are we saying we want to delay the consultant, or do we want to go with them? There's 2 camps here, that Toby said,
So just, sorry, I would do, go on.
yes.
Right, for me, obviously, the things that are highlighted in red, like a bit like George said, they need to be actioned as a matter of urgency. You know, there's the one at Wavenham Gate, which again, we could go around the houses again. I feel that we're not responsible for, but there's sort of, what's that, 3 for the building here and 1 for Heronsbrook. Okay, so that's 4 tasks that have got to have immediate remedial work. Okay, so as a matter of priority, they need to be looked at, so they come out of the red. I think that needs to be looked at, so we're a bit more compliant. And then, as everyone else has said, I agree that we hang fire on any consultancy days or the possibility of consultancy days until we've got our new staff in situ. We know what skill base they've got, like Mandy said, you know, why are we reinventing the wheel if we're getting someone on board that's got experience or a qualification of doing this?
Yeah.
So my suggestion is we do the remedial work on the two buildings that have got red things. I mean, it's 4 tasks. You know, if there is the possibility, some of the things are fairly easy fixes, even if you look down at Heronsbrook meeting place, is the weekly testing of the fire alarm system undertaken? Well, that's an easy fix.
You should test it.
You know, exactly. Yeah, it's, does the emergency lighting have a monthly short test? That's an easy fix. You know, it can be implemented fairly quickly. You know, the seasonal staff can do the weekly fire alarm test. The seasonal staff can do the monthly tests. So those things are easy fixes, and I just think, you know, in the short term, we sort those out, the red ones as a matter of priority, and then we start working through the easy fix ones. And then once the new staff are in situ, then we look at what qualifications they've got and what actions we need to take. So I hate to say it, I think it needs to come back to the September meeting, because hopefully by then we might
Well, it
have
was
the
never
staff
going to be
in place.
one that was going to be fixed
No,
in
but
budget meeting.
The red ones need
Yeah.
to be.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, it's just the staff wouldn't be doing that, working through the
Yeah.
red and show code ones, and coming back to the committee once they have cost or of any potential work fixes that they need to be in place. I agree with the point that we need to work out who will be responsible for what, and to what Walton community facilities do. Currently, they're responsible, for example, for fire equipment, lighting tests, noise limiters, etc. They do all those weekly tests and the loop. So working out whose responsibility, focus on the reds and the greens, etc., and bring back any costs.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. We get the staff in place and then see what their skills are, and to see whether any extra consultancy days are needed to be purchased. Stroke software packages that can help to alleviate it.
Yeah.
And so with regard, one of the points Neil will do need to really work on our health and safety policy to is 4.2. I think we've decided that we've got the statement and that the policy word in one.
Where is it?
No, it's one.
Oh,
When you read it out,
It's the big one.
a
I
big
didn't see.
lot of trees.
Okay then,
But we're not agreeing to any consultancy work, but we are agreeing to, well, there's no agreement in place, but start to focus on the priorities as laid out in the risk assessments that have been carried out, and to bring back any costings that are needed to rectify these solutions. We need to also bring back the costs of potential software to help us in the future as well.
it would be useful if we had this document again. I know, sorry if it's gonna cause more work. But it would be useful to have this document again in September with who's been allocated the responsibility, because I don't think Len could do all of them, because she's been allocated to every single one of these. So it would be good to know who it would be allocated to, and which ones of these are WCF responsibilities and which
Exactly.
ones are ours.
So we put some midline in, put responsibilities in, who's
Yeah.
responsible for it, yeah.
And can I be really fancy? having them all in landscape rather than portrait, because it's like,
That one in landscape is even smaller writing. That's why I printed it. this way. But I can print in landscape. It was like the word was small and I know.
doesn't do my LCD.
I know.
So, that should, that's
Yeah.
I think what this highlights though is, you know, how difficult, not necessarily difficult, but how much work is involved in managing community centres.
Yes.
There's a huge amount of work, and anything we can do to make the work, you know, a bit more efficient, then the better. But it's only when you see documents like this that you really do realise that, you know, this is where all staff's time is going and things like that, so, you know.
But I think having the exercise and play and the structure we've created, with the facilities assets and assets officer.
Yeah.
And some of these,
Yeah.
like the other folks as well, will aid us in this, and this is just eye opener into what we
Yeah.
actually do. I mean, you know, community centres do attract a lot of health and safety things doing to it, so
Yeah.
all those points are to note, but there's nothing actually to agree or with them on that. No, there's nothing to agree on the point that you put down, so, and we can bring back any actions that require any costings, for the, committee, because if it's that urgent, they can, bring it to the, mid-August one, or, meeting we have.
September.
The new,
No, we're going one in
the
August.
additional one.
Yeah, that.
Additional, so it is.
And would you want to bring to additional one?
If there's any cost for the redder items that need any costing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, if there is, you can look at some of them, you know,
Yeah.
that the cost and
And then about the
some of
driving.
them was why we managed to get some of these, that means there's a quote to get it all, there was one, yeah, most of the red ones were worrying, aren't they, essentially one or two.
Mm.
Yes,
Then
there is.
next question, birds, which from.
But they're all in process anyway, aren't they? Trying to get the new updated certificate from us.
They say it was from two people, one did the individual test and one did the actual work, and the other one was blaming each other to get the, who wanted to issue the actual certificates, we were saying they were done. Okay, so we all, happy on those
Yeah.
points of action?
Hey.
Okay, that's a big one, thank you. That's the last one. Right, now we're on the last item, which is the review of the allotment tenancy.
At this point, I should excuse myself.
Yes, and people need to,
I can be part of the discussion, but I won't be voting.
I think I'm just gonna excuse myself. And question since the last item. All right.
thank you, George.
Hi, George.
It's nice.
Could you see Sarah Hall?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like.
Okay, everybody. Thank you, George.
I do have something that I think should, is pertinent to the abbey, that it isn't there in there. It says, there, what number are they? On the second page.
On what?
The allotment
Of
agreement.
the allotment agreement, sorry.
Second page.
Yeah, H. It says ensure that on-site water is used for irrigation of the allotment garden and livestock only. With the current hose pipe ban in place, do we need to put something in? I know we've got the troughs. But should we?
Well, there aren't actually stage pipes on site anyway, part of the, put that in the,
I couldn't see it.
your youth speak, isn't it?
That's why I'm asking.
Because you could, that's the whole point of having the troughs, that you could only use the,
Stop.
Is anybody parked in the parking lot? The
Yeah.
Ashford guy is here and he wants to walk up.
oh.
Yeah. I thought it was 9:30.
9:30.
Half past nine, you'll have to wait.
Okay, I'll.
Thanks, George.
Thank you, George,
It's 9:30, isn't it, Lee?
for the, oh, I can walk it actually when we go
for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got the keys. I was the code lock, yeah. Okay.
And there should be a separate policy, wasn't it? And that fault for.
I thought there was saying it, right.
Because it says livestock, doesn't it?
It's,
We could add something into the use of water irrigation allotment and that no hoses be used.
Okay. Sorry, yeah.
H,
yeah,
ensure that the on-site water is used for irrigation of allotment gardens and livestock. And no hoses, could add in no hoses being used on allotment sites. Because that's the whole idea of crops, isn't it?
yeah,
Isn't that elsewhere in here? No.
no, that's what we were saying.
I think that
Right,
needs,
but
that needs to be a separate item.
yeah,
No
let's stick
holds
to
made.
stick to more.
No holds made.
Yeah, thank you, yeah, we should. So with the agreed changes that we made early on in the year, we amended clause 8 to the requirement for materials and size of greenhouses and other structures. And we put a new minute on joint tenancies, which is FP 217/25. The operations committee also agreed to the allotment holders to move their glass greenhouses by October 22nd. That was also minuted. This was to advise the tenants, but not incorporated in a tenancy agreement. So we had a resident who raised the fact that we don't offer discounts, and which hasn't been done for a while. So the proposal is to 50% discount on the full cost, and we've got the cost there with 15, 25, and 16. So the proposed changes is to add to the end of clause 8D, existing plot structures, greenhouses that were currently on site prior to 2025 and do not meet the criteria are allowed to remain until they are replaced. At change of tenancy, any existing structures will become the responsibility of the new tenant. Then 4.2 is tenants have also requested a clarification clause 8Q and 23. It is proposed to reword 8Q for clarity using NALC template wording so that it reads to be responsible for ensuring that any person present in the allotment site with or without tenant permission does not suffer injury, personal injury or damage to their property. Then amend clause 23 to may result in instead of will result in the intermediate wording of a tenancy notice like the NALC template and is consistent with the written warning procedure agreed in January, and sort of minutes there so that it reads any tenant is found to be breach of conditions, and it's got all the conditions A, B, etc. This may result in the immediate serving of termination notice. The council will follow the allotment and tenancy inspection and termination procedures. So the annexes report, the proposal is the tenancy includes changes to the agreed early 25/26 and has consistent use of definitions and terms, indicate sections for joint tenancy to give their personal details and signature, including the proposals to clause 8D and to revise clause 8Q and 23, including the council's bank account details for online payments. All these changes are covered in clause 11 so that they can be applied from 1st of October 26 notice. You've got to decide whether you want to agree to 50% discounts. So,
Sorry, it may be a really stupid question. But 4.1, the proposed changes. How do you know whether something's been there prior to 2025? Could someone not just, if they put it there recently, could they not just say, oh, it's been there for ages?
we do inspection reports and it should be
Is that included in that?
inspection reports that they're done during the season on a monthly basis.
And that's.
So we,
Every inspection we take pictures.
Okay, that's fine, that's
So
fine, I
it's-
just
so-
wanted
no,
to
no,
check
it's-
why.
it's a good point, and it always needs to be clarified. And we used to have in the discounted price, so I don't know why they were taken out, but would we want to put a discount price in, they would have to apply, wouldn't be social, they're on benefits, is it?
Yes. Yeah. Looking for,
And also, we agreed early one a year to joint tenancy and succession tenancy at the council's approval. Yes,
Will pensioners be, within a discount as well?
I would presume they would. I don't know, it's up to the committee to decide, Leslie.
Can I ask how much we subsidise the allotments at the moment? Before we start doing discounts, can I just ask how much we currently subsidise? The cost of the allotments.
Well, we can give the total cost of allotments, which is,
Oh, it's gonna-
the
Yeah.
total cost of the allotments, is a budget of £13,000. And the income for the allotment is £5,000 predicted. The budget of five, so I reckon it'll actually be 5,888, so there's
So
quite
we-
lots of subsidies.
So we currently subsidise the allotments about to £8,000.
But that's with a lot of things, those of stuff, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not saying, I'm just
Yeah.
asking, you know.
That's a good point.
It's a lot, so if we, do we have any idea how much more we would be subsidising plot holders if we introduce the 50% discount?
I haven't got that demographic breakdown to know how many are pensioners, how many are on those, the question of,
So we don't know what the impact would be before we agree it.
Okay, pensioners are different defined as a, they get a discount. Right?
I don't. have
We
one.
always used to discount for those on benefits and for pensions, but that was revoked. Several years ago,
Right.
But it,
because the argument was, oh, well, we don't charge much anyway, so they don't.
We don't charge a lot.
the wording there is a qualifying state benefit and a pension is, a contributing pension is a state benefit,
Yeah, it is a
so.
state benefit, so that if we're going to do that, then pensioners would need to be qualified, unless we say, except for pensioners, and I don't think that would go down to.
No, it's not a good PR look.
let's go around the table, say, like, who's, for the benefit, sorry, you, Mandy,
Personally, I think you should.
on both pensioners and, the people on benefits.
I think so.
I'm gonna.
Oh, you can't say
Yeah.
that. Leslie?
No, I don't, no, I don't agree with it, because it's £50 a year, yeah, it's not a lot. It's not a lot to pay, so I don't think we should do that.
What, for
There is-
pensioners or?
No, I don't think we should be offering discounts. I think that, you know, the cost of an allotment is the cost of an allotment. We've costed it based on the full cost of an allotment. And if we don't know what the impact is going to be with the 50% discount, then I don't really want to vote on it.
Totally.
I'd probably say it's fine.
Sarah?
I do, I think my reasoning is in our strategy planning, we talked about people's mental health, and I think allotment is a massive thing for people's mental health. I don't know,
Nothing to do whether it's discounted or not, though, is it?
but I think for somebody, 50 quid is a lot, 25 is, you know, for some people, 50 quid's not a lot at all, but for some it is, and that's the option between them possibly not doing it and doing it.
It's £1 a week.
I agree that I would like a discount,
£1 a week.
so I'm just saying,
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
Okay, right, let's go to Neil.
I agree with Leslie.
You agree that you don't think we should go?
No, it's £1 a week.
Yeah. Probably heavily subsidized already.
But then allotments are not supposed to be breaking even and making a profit.
But there's no reason why they can't, Mandy. What, we're already subsidising it by £8,000.
Well, I think at the moment we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
going to,
yeah.
well, my view is I get the same here with Vandy, I would support giving discounts.
So 4. So,
Four.
We vote on 4 on that.
Okay,
yeah,
so,
no, change one.
I'm the proposal that we go with the 50% discounts for our allotment plots. You're taking that?
Yeah.
So all those in favour?
I'm abstaining.
All those against? Sorry, which way?
You vote.
I'll go in favour.
In favour.
Okay, so let's do favours again, just so then people's got it all sorted.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's carried 4-2. So we will introduce the 50% discounts into the allotments.
Can you just specify what the criteria will be then? It will actually include
Okay, so the,
state pensions then as well?
But might not be state pension, might be pension, somebody might get it at 60.
What, so they just have
It's
a
state benefits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's-
state benefit, so it's state pension,
Yeah.
so,
yeah.
so we want to vote on that, don't we? Yeah, so,
Which pensions out there? Well, there is, you know, I know there's not.
No, just
No,
people
but there are, there are.
Unless they class as equal pension.
because it's not state.
provision benefit. So we're saying that then the proposal will be for those on benefits
Can't wait to be
and
pensioned.
what's it, pensioners?
No benefits.
Of state benefit, which is pensioners and those, so we, I propose that,
So you're not second.
all those in favour? All those against? All two, thank you. And the other bit now we're going on to is to the side, depending on 3, so now we need to approve the actual contracts, don't we? So with the changes into the contract, is that where the units has been put in? Which is the units are put into this contract and the renumbering of them to take place. Do we have any things that anybody wants to change? Mandy, listening?
Well, what do you?
We're on the contract now, just it's the last bit to approve the contract.
Oh, you were saying about the no holes pipes or something, maybe. If you're talking about the agreement here again, I've got something different.
There are bits on
The agreement,
this
This
is
will be
incorporated.
post-change, isn't it?
Yeah,
Post-change.
yeah, these changes are already in disagreed, am I correct in saying anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they reordered the numbering as well, there's some sort of wording changes. Is there anything that you think we need to change or not happy with, or is it all good?
That home got to do, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, so subject to those, things have been included, I propose we agree the tenancy agreement. All those in favour?
Who seconded it?
Mandy, I think.
Yeah.
Do we need to do this every year, or can we say this only needs to be renewed, if there's a change to the contract?
I don't think we need to review it every year.
No.
So I propose that we only agree.
it's not a policy, it's an agreement, so I would just say, yeah.
So we just need
Only
to
when
vote,
there's a
so,
change.
yeah, only if there's a change, major changes needed to the
Yeah.
agreement, we'll do that first, okay? That kind of what we do now. Just a note, isn't it? If we agree on it. So that covers all the points.
Could I just ask that when the tenants are notified of the changes, that it's made clear that,
What's the changes in offer?
well, A, what the changes are, but where it says about state benefits, it says in brackets including state pension, because some people might not realise.
Yeah.
And I think if we're gonna offer it, we need to make sure everyone's aware of what they can or can't claim. So I think if we're gonna put that in a letter or an email, it needs to just
Yeah.
fit in brackets, including state pension.
Well, I said I wasn't gonna say anything, but
But we've done it.
child benefit, that's a benefit, that's a state benefit.
It's still state benefit, I think anyone who's got child benefit, no.
No, because you could be working full time, you can earn up to £40 a year, can't you? And still get child.
Okay, let's just suppose the meetings as we,
Child benefit.
we just. We said that's the benefit to what you said.
That's what that-
I don't see
Well, yeah.
This is why we
Keep it
need
close.
to set a criteria.
criteria,
That's why, I'm sorry, that's why I was raising.
but we're talking.
Because someone could come